All right, let's dive into a really fascinating medical mystery. It's a puzzle that plays out inside our own bodies pretty much every time we take a pill. This is a story all about our genes, the drugs we take, and the sometimes pretty dangerous secrets they keep from each other.
And this is the big question, isn't it? You've got a doctor who prescribes a totally common medication, something that's a lifesaver for millions of people. But for just a handful of them, that exact same pill triggers a catastrophic reaction. And we're not talking about a simple side effect here. It's something way more personal, something literally written into their DNA. So how on earth is that possible?
So what are we actually talking about here? Well, the official term is a drug hypersensitivity reaction. And believe me, it is not a minor issue. These reactions are a huge deal, they contribute to a lot of patient illness, and they can even be fatal. It's a massive problem that doctors and scientists are, urgently trying to solve.
The key phrase to lock onto here is immune-driven. This isn't about the drug itself being toxic or bad. No, this is about your own immune system making a huge mistake. It sees a helpful medicine, thinks it's a dangerous invader, and just launches an all-out attack. You can kind of think of it as a case of biological friendly fire.
Okay, so every good investigation has to start by understanding the scene of the crime. And in our case, there are two main ways the immune system can overreact. Telling them apart is really the first big step to cracking this whole case.
So on one hand, you've got your immediate reactions. This is what you probably think of as a classic allergy. It happens fast, and it's driven by these things called IgE antibodies. But our main suspect, the one that's way more mysterious and often way more severe, is the delayed reaction. These are run by T cells. They take a lot longer to show up, and they're going to be the focus of our investigation today.
So why? Why do some people's T cells go haywire like this? Well, the big clue isn't found at the scene of the crime. It's actually hidden in the person's own genetic code. And the high-tech tool we use to find it is called pharmacogenetics.
To put it really simply, pharmacogenetics helps us get to the bottom of why our own unique genetic makeup can make us react so differently to the very same medicine. It's the science that explains why some of us get these dangerous hypersensitivities while most people are completely fine. Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine your DNA is this colossal instruction manual for how to build and run your body. Pharmacogenetics is basically the science of finding one tiny, specific typo in that entire manual, a variation that might look totally insignificant, but can completely change how your body handles a drug.
And believe it or not, we found our typo. The specific genes we're looking for here are called HLA alleles. Now, you could think of these guys as the bouncers, or maybe the ID scanners for your immune system. Their whole job is to constantly check proteins and decide, do you belong here, or are you a threat? Well, in these crazy drug reactions, a specific version of an HLA gene completely misreads the drug, thinks it's a dangerous invader, and sounds the alarm.
Okay, so that's the theory. But let's look at the hard evidence. We're going to open up the case files where scientists have drawn a direct, undeniable line between a specific drug, a specific genetic typo, and a really dangerous reaction.
I mean, this table just lays it all out perfectly. Let's take abacavir. It's an HIV medication. If you happen to have the HLA-B5701 gene, your risk of a severe hypersensitivity reaction just skyrockets. Or how about carbamazepine, an anti-seizure drug? In people with the HLA-B1502 gene, it can cause these horrific, life-threatening skin reactions. And it's the exact same story for the gout medication allopurinol and the HLA-B5801 gene. The evidence is it's undeniable.
So the crucial point, the thing to really get, is that this isn't random. It's not just bad luck. It's a predictable link. Your specific genetic fingerprint can act like an early warning system for a specific drug. It is a powerful, direct relationship between your genes and your potential for harm from a medication. But, like any good mystery, there's always a twist. While these links are incredibly strong, it's not always a simple open and shut case. The science starts to get way more complex when we start looking at the whole global population. For one thing, these risky genes aren't spread out evenly. A specific HLA allele might be super common in one ethnic group but almost non-existent in another. On top of that, sometimes it's not just one gene doing the damage, but a whole combination of genes working together. Then you add in the fact that we all metabolize drugs differently and that the symptoms can sometimes look a lot like a simple infection, and, well, you can see why this puzzle can be so challenging to piece together for every single person.
So, after all this investigation, what's the verdict? What does all this mean for the future of medicine? Well, the implications are honestly profound, and they're already changing how doctors prescribe drugs right now. This right here is the ultimate takeaway. For
For the cases we've already solved, like that abacavir example, doctors now routinely do genetic screening. Before they even think about writing the prescription, they check to see if the patient carries that high-risk gene. This simple check lets them choose a safer drug, and it actively prevents these dangerous reactions from ever happening.
And that's really the power of this science. The whole mystery of a potentially life-threatening reaction can be solved ahead of time with just one simple test. It is the ultimate form of personalized medicine, using your unique genetic blueprint to keep you safe.
And this all leaves us with a pretty fascinating final question. As we keep uncovering more and more of these genetic links, will knowing your key HLA alleles just become a standard part of your medical file? Just as common as knowing your blood type. The answer to that could completely redefine what it means to get the right medicine for the right person at the right time.